Vabbè, dai, Darillo, dai, Federico, dai, che salta, festevolo di più.
Amiche e amici, ben trovati a Cresta Alta, il podcast di Federico e Danilo Gallinari.
Siamo live con un ospite particolare, mi sembra, no?
A very special guest today, Danilo. Very special guest with us. You know him, I know him as well. Everybody knows him, and a lot of fans actually asked me to invite him in the podcast. So he's here with us, Nico Mannion.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
How are you, Nico? How's everything going?
It's great. It's great. Being with the national team at this point is always, the summers are always fun. We have a great group of guys. We got a really fun staff, and it's nice to have our guy Gallo back too.
There we go.
Il serpente rosso. Il serpente rosso,
soprannominato il serpente rosso. Man, I want to know why, besides the hair color.
It started with Tommaso Baldasso.
Tommy.
He was the first one. He, out of nowhere, started calling me Serpente. And so now every time he sees me, he does this, like the snake tongue.
Yeah.
No one calls me it except for here with the national team.
There we go.
With the national team, I hear it all the time outside of this. So I don't hear it for 10 months out the year, and then the other 1 or 2 that were with the national team, I hear it all the time.
There we go.
Who is the real Red Mamba, you or Brian Scalabrine?
Scalabrine, he's got it. He can have it. he can have it.
You say he can have it?
He can have
Giving it up. Oh my God. Nico, listen, I think you have a very interesting career, and I would like you to tell us a little bit more about your career. Tell all the people that are following us, which is basically our parents and a couple of our friends, no more than that. No, just tell us a little bit about your career, where you start and where you ended.
Especially about Tucson, Arizona. We want to know.
Started in Tucson. Tucson was great. I mean, the unfortunate part about college was that COVID hit March, I think 13th of my freshman year in college. So we didn't get the beauty of, we didn't get to finish our conference tournament. We didn't have March Madness. And then that pre-draft was the longest 8 months of my life. I was back home with my parents.
And bikini all year long in the campus. That's what I heard.
It's a fun campus. I'll say that. I'll leave it at that. It's fun. There's a lot to do. We had a good team too. We had a really good team, and like I said, the most unfortunate part was we didn't get the beauty of having a shot at March Madness. But then, like I said, that 8 months was long, and then drafted after my freshman year, got drafted to Golden State, spent a year in the Bay, and got to learn from one of the best point guards ever, if not the best, in my opinion.
Is he the best, Dan? Is he the best point guard ever?
Yeah, he's definitely top 3.
I might be a little biased, but yeah, he's up there.
There we go. So connecting to that, what do you think you learned from Steph, from the best shooter of all time? What do you think he does on the court, outside the court? What did you learn?
I think the biggest thing I learned, obviously going in, Steph, he's one, like I said, he's one of the best ever. But I got to kind of see why he's the best ever. Like the stuff you see on TV, you see it every couple days in the game. He does something crazy or hits ridiculous shots or doesn't miss, goes 8 for 9 from the 3-point line, like whatever it is. He does that every day. You get to see that in practice. And I think I've told this story before, but like the thing that opened my eyes the most, I'd say, was like we played a late night game and we had a travel day the next day. So I was like, I'm going to go in and get some shots probably around like 10:30, 11. The flight's at 1:30. And I got there and he was in there by himself, lifting, no trainers, no coaches. Night before he played 36 minutes. And so I think it just goes to show like he's great for a reason. So kind of being able to see his work ethic, and he's the first one there, one of the last ones to leave, and just works his tail off. So
how is Steph off the court, on the plane? What does he do?
Calm, like the calmest superstar I've ever seen. He's a normal person, and he's super genuine, super nice, really easy to be around. I think some of these guys maybe difficult to relate to other people when you're at that kind of status. But he is a great teammate, and like I said, super easy to be around, really calm.
What are the things that Draymond had you do as a rookie?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. I think the worst one was we landed in Brooklyn really late, like maybe 2 a.m, 3 a.m. And he had a group chat with me and James Wiseman, because we were the 2 rookies. And he tried to text us, and I was like half asleep. I didn't really see it. And then he called us in the group chat, like tried to FaceTime us. And I picked up, and he was like, "Hey, Rook, I need you to go get me this, and this from the corner store." I'm like, "It's 3 a.m, Dre." He's like, "I don't care." Like, but they're good though, because you do it for them, and they'll give you their per diem for the trip or whatever it is. Like, it's not like you're just working for no reason. They take care of it.
What Draymond needed at 3 a.m. Is it possible to talk about it?
He needed to hydrate, and he needed to just prepare for the game. We've had a game the next day,
Okay.
Had a long flight.
I do not want to know the item list that you have to go ask at the gas station at 3 a.m. Oh my God. But that's pretty interesting. Wiseman, great guy. We had him in Detroit. I actually worked with him a lot of time. He's a great guy. He's a
Good
great
dude,
guy.
really good dude.
Yeah, I think he signed.
He just signed somewhere.
Indiana, I think.
Indiana, 2 years,
Yeah.
right? I think.
Yep, I think so.
Man, every time he goes up to dunk, he looks like he's about to destroy the rim or something, man.
I know, and then he dunks and his feet are like this far off the ground.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It's insane.
It's really crazy. So, Nico, how then after all your career, after Golden State, and I think you did some of the G League too, right?
Yeah.
What do you think was the biggest difference between the G League and the NBA? I work with the G League a little bit more than the NBA, so I want to see what was your experience with both.
So I only got to play, I think it was 9 games in the G League. And that year was when they had the bubble. Mm-hmm. So we did the G League bubble in Orlando, and we were there. I was there with me and Jordan. Poole went down together and played 9 games. We were there for about 3.5 weeks. But I enjoyed it. It was really fun, especially going from, you're not in a consistent rhythm with the main team, and being able to go down and get consistent reps. Our coach Weems, was an assistant with the Warriors as well, so I was with him the whole year. And he had kind of drawn some stuff up for me and Jordan, and it was like just working on your game. I really like that because it's a place you can go to learn, and it's okay to make a mistake and learn from it.
I just want to tell you guys that we've been advised that there is a little update and upgrade in the player lounge of the Olympics qualifier. They put a little ice cream thing that we can get in the player lounge.
There we go.
Bravi. Ice cream or gelato?
Ice cream o gelato? Qual è?
Gelato.
Ah, ok.
Bravo, molto meglio. Okay, so you think that like the G League experience is something that you like advise for like rookies or whoever doesn't get many minutes?
I think obviously if you're playing, if you're getting good minutes in the NBA, there's no reason for it. But if you're a guy that's trying to get his work in after games, because you didn't play a lot or had a DNP, or because you get into the flow of the season and there's 82 games, so it's difficult. You don't get a lot of live reps and practice reps against your teammates or games. So I think it's a great way for young guys to get more reps, to learn, and just get experience.
Okay. And after that year, Italy came in the picture.
Yeah.
How was that decision for you? You were in front of to make a decision if you wanted to be Italian or American. Mm-hmm. So why did you choose the Italy? Thank you.
So
I love the fact that you chose Italy, obviously, but why?
So when I was U16s, I went to the USA camp the USA training camp, and it was like a tryout for the U16s, and they cut to 14, and I was and then they cut to 12, and I was one of those last 2 cut. And that year, I got called from the U16s Italian team because before U18, I don't know the rule exactly, but before U18, you can play for both. So I went and played with Italy that U16s year, and then the next year, Italy told me basically, hey, we want you to play with the men's team when you're 17. We want you to come have your debut with the men's team. And so after I got cut from USA U16s, they invited me back again the next year for U17s, and I was like, there's no point. I can go play with the men's team in Italy. I get to represent, that half of me. And it's been a great decision. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Okay. Proud of it, huh?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very proud of it.
Nico is a very good dice player.
Dice? When did you learn how to play dice, man?
On the plane.
On the
plane in Golden State, yeah.
There are two games that he plays. Which are the 2 games? One is, how you call it, 7-Eleven? No.
Yeah, 7-Eleven, and the other one is CeeLo. It's with 3 dice.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just learned that one, though. John actually taught me that one when we were in Folgaria.
Okay.
Yeah, that one, I like that one. That one's more fun to me than the 7-Eleven.
Living in Detroit, I learned dice. I learned how to play dice.
That was probably the first week.
Yeah, exactly. First week between craps and dice, I learned everything. So
exactly.
That's for sure. Hey, I have a little game that I did to Danilo. I have to do it to you too for the podcast. You have to be ready. There are 5 names that you have to rank.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the name one by one, but you will not know the next one. The next one. There we go. I think you might have saw this around.
I've seen him on social media or something.
There we go. Let's see if I can put you in a tough situation. Let's see.
Okay.
The first name that I'm gonna give you is Klay Thompson.
And there's no category.
No category.
I don't get to know the category.
But if you have some funny stories about these guys, you can definitely tell some stories. The first one is Klay Thompson, ranked from 1 to 5.
I gotta be safe. I'm going 3.
3? Okay.
How is Klay? Talk to us about Klay.
I didn't get to be around Klay as much because he was recovering from his injury that year, and he still wasn't running. He wasn't playing. He wasn't doing anything. So he'd come into the facility usually later in the day and do treatment and do his stuff by himself. So I didn't get to spend much time with Klay, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Second one is Wiggins.
Wiggs. I'm gonna give Wiggs.
He's definitely giving Wiggs number 5. I'm telling you.
I love Wiggs. I was gonna put Wiggs at 2.
2?
I love Wiggs. Yeah, Wiggs. Me and JP were really close, and JP and Wiggs were already close when I got there. So I kind of slid into that group a little bit, and I was hanging out with Wiggs quite a bit. I like Wiggs. He's a really, really good dude.
Yeah, he's a funny dude, man. We were with him in Barcelona. Do you remember that in Spain, right?
Barcelona for Adidas, I think.
Yep.
Good dude.
Great dude. Next name is Allen Iverson.
No, wait. So Wiggs at number 2.
Number 2.
Okay.
Next name is Allen Iverson. You still have 1, 4, and 5.
4 and 5.
Tough situation right now. Tough spot to be
now
in.
if I put AI 1 and then you bring in Steph or Michael Jordan,
it's gonna be a problem.
I told you to put Wiggs at 4 or 5, but you don't listen to the
because you already
advice.
played this game. You knew the answer.
No, I don't know the names. I don't know.
AI had a lot of influence. I'm putting AI at 1.
A lot of influence in you?
In basketball in general, I think. The basketball culture, mindset, how he played, just playing free. He was kind of ahead of his time, the way he played too. So I'll put AI at 1.
The next name I'm going to throw at you is Stephen Curry, man. Let's say that Steph cannot watch this episode.
Is there a spot number 0?
After you're gonna repost and share this podcast, Steph is gonna know. So
is there a spot number 0 above 1?
We cannot. We can create it for Steph, but
don't try to save your ass.
I guess he has to go at 4 then.
He has to go 4. And the last name, which will probably be the 5th, is Derrick Rose.
Yeah, 5th, I guess.
So now that you have,
that's unfair. Yeah, now that I have the names.
Now that you have the names, how would you reorder everything?
I'm going Steph, AI. Who was the 5th one?
D Rose.
Steph,
Wiggins,
AI,
and Clay.
Steph, AI, D Rose, Clay, Wiggs.
I told you.
Yeah,
you said it's gonna be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
He was right.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
Because after the first 2, I thought you were going strictly Warriors.
Yeah, so I know.
Okay,
that's why.
Okay.
Yeah. Now
I
you
left the
start
one
thinking.
open for Steph, and I was kind of. But then you flipped it on me.
Yeah.
How is Coach Steve Kerr?
He's awesome. I think overall, like before being a coach, he's just a really good person. Like he's calm with the guys, talks to you, respect, shows a lot of respect. Obviously has a mind for the game, and I think he had to adjust as a coach as well. I think that's a big thing for a coach, is being able to adjust, and him like having Steph when he was young, having to adjust how Steph played and kind of understand him and the different characteristics he had on the court and egos and managing all that. I think he's done an amazing job. Besides, obviously, he's great X and O wise, but of that, he's really good.
What do you think was the biggest adjustment for you going from Golden State and an American type of basketball to Italy? Different coach, different type of game. So what was it?
Yeah, it was.
In Varese, they play the same way of NBA, and they have everything based on an algorithm that is the NBA algorithm.
We do, yeah. This year was super fun. But going from Golden State to Virtus was difficult, and I was going through that period where I was sick. I'd lost a bunch of weight, but just basketball itself it's way different. I mean, the European stuff feels more similar to college than to the NBA, especially because the rules and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Was it difficult for you to adapt? It took you a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think it took me time, but I think that time that it took me to adjust was kind of like when I was getting healthy too. So I wasn't as much thinking about like adapting. I was more thinking about just kind of getting back into shape and feeling good physically. So I think that kind of got mixed together. But I'd say like it took me at least, I didn't play much that first year. I'd say I was still adjusting into the middle of the second year.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So
Nico started to lose weight in Tokyo, I think.
Before Tokyo, I was like, by the time we played France in the Olympics, I had already lost like 10
Nico
kilos.
was spending more time in the bathroom than with us in the gym.
That's great.
Literally.
Talking about that period, like for people that don't really know what happened and everything, can you give us a little bit of a rundown, go a little bit deeper in that? Whenever
I'd got like somehow, I don't know how, but I'd got salmonella from a bad piece of chicken or steak. Probably like a week before I left for training camp. Mm-hmm. Before the Olympics, before the qualifiers and all that. So like this time 3 years ago. And then it turned into a whole stomach disease and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. So I kind of just played through it throughout the qualifiers, the Olympics. And then when I got home, we kind of figured out what was going on. I got on the medicine for it. But like when I got to Italy, I was in the hospital for a week. I got out the hospital at 60 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, like 140 pounds, 145 pounds. So yeah, it was a long journey.
We were playing. First of all, Nico likes to keep his room at minus 15 Celsius.
Part of it was also because I was sick at the time, so I was like sweating, I was hot, and so I'd have. And
No, but
Stefano,
if you go in his room right now, it's minus 15.
That's the first thing that everybody says. Don't keep your room too cold, man.
So his room was crazy cold, but he kept the room closed, and we were staying in this small apartment, 6 big guys in 3 bedrooms, and we had a big table and 2 bathrooms. Yeah, only 2 bathrooms for 6 people.
Only one for whoever was rooming with Nico. Only one bathroom because the other one was Nico's, basically.
Yeah. And Nico was in our apartment, and we were playing cards all day, all night. And Nico was just going in the room, going to the bathroom, bathroom. We were looking at him passing by. Of course, a crazy cold air was coming out of his room. And then he was going to the bathroom, do a little service, go back to the room.
Hey, what a life. What a life.
On repeat.
How was your I feel like around that time the mental part is very tough to be able to handle that kind of situation. How were you able to handle it mentally? Or who helped you?
The thing that was weird. It was like once I'd get on the court, I wouldn't be in pain, and that was kind of like games. I wasn't in pain during games. Right before games, I'd be in pain. After games, yes. Or if I'm just sitting around in the apartment or hotel, whatever, I was in pain. But it was weird. Once I got to like playing, I feel like mentally I was so focused on basketball that I didn't even notice the pain I was in, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's your advice to players that are going to go through times like this? How do you come back stronger than before and ready to, approach another season?
I think the biggest thing for me was going just day by day, because once I got out the hospital and I was 140 pounds, like obviously you have goals of getting back on the court and playing well and doing this and that. But like my first thing was like, all right, I got to put on 40 pounds. Like, okay, let's break that down. Now I just need to put on like a pound a day for a month, get back to 170. And then I can start half a pound a day for this long. So for me, it was like breaking it down day by day. And I think that was the best thing for me, because if you start looking too far into the distance, you might lose track of right now or what you have to do now. So I think the biggest thing for me was like understanding my goal.
Yep.
and breaking it down into pieces and, having small wins daily.
Nice.
I know this name is gonna wake somebody more in the States than in Italy. But what can you tell us about the one and only Spencer Rattler?
Spencer, we grew up together. He just got drafted actually by the New Orleans Saints. But we grew up together. He used to play basketball, so we played against each other. The first time I met him, we played against each other in probably 7th grade basketball. And then we ended up going to the same high school, and he was like the number 1 quarterback in the country all throughout high school, and played on the basketball team as well. And I think if he wasn't playing football, he probably would have had some Division I offers for basketball if he took basketball serious. He didn't touch a basketball for 6 months out the year, and then would come in and hoop. So, but he's a good dude. I'm happy for him. Hope he gets a good opportunity in the league.
I think your mom and my wife have something in common. They hate the cold and they hate the bad weather. Talk to us about the story you told me about your mom convincing your dad, changing
yeah,
the situation.
We were living in Utah. We moved to Utah when I was little, obviously born in Siena, and then we moved to Utah. But when I was 12 years old, so 2013, my mom had just had enough of the cold. We lived up in the mountains too, 2-3 feet of snow all winter. And my mom grew up in Italy, so she hates the snow, hates the cold. She grew up on the beach. And one day she woke up and told my dad, she's like, look, I'm going to warm weather. You and Nico, like, you guys can follow me or you can stay here, but I got to get out of the cold. And we were like, all right, yep, we're following you. So that's why we moved to Arizona.
Okay. Interesting, man. I think there's going to be a G League team for the Suns, and they're going to put in the Arizona campus.
At U of A?
I think so.
Oh, wow. So it'll be a couple hours away from Phoenix then.
Yes,
or is it Arizona State, maybe?
Maybe Arizona State. One of the two, though. One of the two.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting. I'm gonna steal a couple more minutes from you, Nico. I got only a couple of questions, then I can let you go and rest and do whatever you need.
A couple of more minutes. We need to stay here all day with Nico, eh?
Oh yeah, all day.
I'll stay here with Fede. I see this guy. I see Danny for 8 hours a day.
Exactly. But Danilo will be the first one to leave the episode, though, because I gotta convince him to do this, man. It's always hard work. But what are your plans for the future? What is your goal? Would you like to stay in Italy? Would you like to try the NBA again? What is it?
I mean, the NBA has always been a goal of mine, and I feel like I got there, but I never really got to fully experience it.
Mm-hmm.
So that always is going to remain a goal of mine. But for now, wherever I'm wanted, wherever I can be myself, and I found a great spot in Varese. Obviously it's the off season, and we're kind of looking at everything right now. But I found a great spot in Varese, and it's one of the first times I've really had a lot of fun, like being a pro. Like, it didn't feel like a job at all. I felt super loved by the city, the fans, the staff. I had a great time. So, and like I told you earlier, like, my advice to the people going through injuries or whatnot, like, day by day, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Yep. Last question that I have for you: your favorite Italian dish, Nico?
Stai attento a quello che dici, eh?
Molto attento.
Favorite Italian dish? I like risotto a lot. Made anyway.
Anyway?
Any which way. So,
risotto alla milanese, risotto ai porcini.
Milanese, sì, con la salsiccia, con i funghi. Cioè, non mi piacciono tanti i funghi, però I like pretty much any kind of risotto.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't know if Danilo wants to ask one more question.
We would like to know the meanings of your tattoos.
Okay. These.
Show them to the camera. This is an amazing also video podcast on YouTube, so the people need to see.
Okay.
It's a Viking symbol, and one means where there's a will, there's a way, and the other one is create your own reality.
Okay.
And then this one was my first one. It's a G with the angel wing.
Okay.
For my mom. This is just a funny little one, like the upside down smiley face.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just depending on
how you look at it.
How you look at it, you can be happy.
You can be sad or happy.
Kind of like a perspective thing. And then on my leg, I don't know. I got the gladiator with the Colosseum.
There we go.
That's my Italian piece.
There we go.
This right here is a tribute to my uncle who passed.
Okay.
I got a cross in the front, and then this inside piece, I don't know if you can really see it. It's a young kid and kind of his path with the ladder, kind of just saying to follow your own path, your path's already created type thing.
There we go. Is your tattoo artist from Italy or from USA?
From the USA, from Arizona.
We got to find somebody in Italy, huh?
I got to find someone in Italy. I found a couple, but
Federico has a lot of tattoos too, so he can point you to the right guy.
Danilo still got more than me, but not for too long. Hey, listen, I feel like I stole a lot of time from you today, but thank you so much, Nico, for coming to the podcast. You have a lovely story. You have a great story. Congrats for your career. Keep grinding and keep going, man. And thank you for coming.
Of course. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Fede. It was nice to meet you. Grazie.
Bravo, Nico!
Grazie, ragazzi.
Fuori dal blocco, prendo la palla, tiro da tre. I due fratelli spiegano il gioco.